All right.
Okay.
Welcome back, guys. This is Sarah.
And I'm Erika. And we are Living Understaffed, the podcast about not having enough hands or hours, and your best just isn't very good. Sarah, how have you been understaffed?
Well, to record today, I did meal prep today, but also I was in bed all day. I'm technically still in my pajamas right now. I rolled out of bed, brushed my hair, put on some lipstick and some eyeliner and mascara so that Erika and I could record. Okay. We'll talk about the good stuff first. So this week was a busy as hell week. I work in admin, and the 3 other people that I work with were all gone. So it was just me this week. Now, my supervisor was here, but she was in a class where she had like actual schoolwork, homework, presentation, capstone. Like, she was busy as shit. So she was in the office, but like not to be bothered unless necessary. And on a bad bitch level, I crushed this week. Crushed it. So not necessarily did all of the work for the other 3 coworkers, but did a shit ton and still stayed on top of my everyday tasks, stayed on top of the customer service piece of all the students coming in, stayed on top of hounding instructors for counselings and communication and all that stuff. Like, it was a whole thing. It was a busy as shit week, and I absolutely crushed it. Like, the amount of stuff that I got done this week makes me feel wildly productive. On top of my mom passed. So the emotional, oh God, I told myself I wasn't going to cry. The emotional turmoil of like, oh God, I'm an awful person. I feel relieved in a sense of like, oh, this is awful, but like, I feel relieved that I don't have to deal with it anymore. I do. We all do. But then I also feel really guilty for feeling that way. And like, it's very weird. I mean, I've talked about it on the show 100 times. Like, it's not like I had a blossoming, relationship with her, but it's a very weird guilt feeling of like knowing that she's gone and having this sense of relief of like not having to walk on eggshells all the time and not having to like watch what I say around her. And it's it's really weird. It's really weird. Yeah. So, the shitty part is our family is complicated and 1,000% frustrating. So, Thursday, and shout out, okay, first of all, shout out to my buddy Joe. So, every few weeks, my friend Joe and I have a night that we have recently coined as Metal and Munchies. I go to his place and we turn on heavy metal music for hours and have dinner, and then I go home. Like, Joe's awesome. So earlier in the week, we got the call from hospice that mom was going downhill, and Joe and I had plans for Metal and Munchies on Thursday night, and so I contacted him. He came over because we work in the same building. He came over to the office and he was like, I don't want you to cancel. Like, I understand if you decide you're going to cancel, but I don't want you to cancel because I know this week is really rough and I know you're by yourself. So just come over, and I don't even care if we don't listen to music, if you just sit on the couch, but just come over. And I was like, all right. Also, like, on a selfish level, I'm like, I don't have to worry about dinner. Okay. Bet. Like, got it. So he cooked. I went to his house. I brought my laptop to work on stuff for podcasts because I'm a monster. And I got the call while I was at his house.
You like to disassociate. So, as we all do.
Yes. So I got the call while I was at his house, and of course broke down because it's also really weird to have such a heavy emotional reaction for a woman that I despised for 20 plus years. And so I'm also like trying to figure that out. I have no words for that. I don't know what that is, but I'm at his place. He's cleaning up. I'm making phone calls. I'm crying. Like, I'm like pacing in his apartment, And then my brother and the one sister were talking on and off the phone, like, 5-6 minute phone calls, and then somebody else calls and whatever. And so I'm also hysterically laughing at things that my brother is saying or that my sister is saying or things that I say that I'm like, oh my God, why are we laughing? This isn't a laughing moment. Like, it's a whole thing. Joe, I was sitting on his couch and he hugs me over the back of my couch, over the back of his couch. And he just hugs me and he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, you're crying on my couch and I don't know what to do. Like, I started laughing because I'm like, Joe and I are good friends, but like, this isn't something that we do. Like, it's not, like, our friendship is great, but it's not there. So I was fucking dying laughing because he is kind of an awkward dude. And so like, I'm making him so uncomfortable sitting on his couch, just snot and tears everywhere. And I laughed really hard because the poor guy, I felt bad for him, but he's amazing. I'm really glad that I wasn't alone because I would have just either gone to Starbucks and worked on the podcast like I do most days, or I would have just come home and then been by myself at the house and got like, that was just kind of the universe stepping in through Joe to be like, don't cancel plans with me. Just, just come and listen to music for a while. So that was nice. And to button up my emotional week, I left Joe's house. I was there till I don't even know what time, but I was on and off the phone for a couple of hours. And I left and I was like, it's fine. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home. I'm going to sleep in my bed. I'm going to cry on my own pillow. It's going to be great, And Joe's like, all right, just send me a message when you get to the house. Great. It's like a 20-minute drive. I got pulled over. And I was on the phone with my sister in LA, and we were crying and laughing, telling stories. Like, our mom, like, she and I used to play games all the time. And while we were assholes because we were teenagers, we used to play games all the time and we were just having fun. And our mom used to like freak out because we were having fun. And, oh God, my children can't be having fun. Ixnay that immediately. And so we were like laughing and crying about it and making jokes and trying to just like exist together on the phone. So I got down into Waynesville and the speed limit goes from 45 to 35. And I was going way over 35. And so I see him pull out behind me, right? And I'm on the phone with her and I'm like, yeah, fucking pull me over. Like, fucking do it. You know what? This is just fucking perfect. Just pull me over. So the lights go on and I'm like, fuck. So like, hey, I'm getting pulled over. I'm going to get off the phone and look like a maniac because makeup all the way down my face. Face is super splotchy. Eyes are super puffy. I was a sight for sore eyes, right? So I have my fanny pack on. So like my license is really close. So I get that out. I roll the window down. Oh my God, this poor guy. He walks up to the car door. He's got his fucking flashlight. He goes, how we doing tonight? Is everything okay? Do you know why I pulled you over? I just looked up at him and I was like, my mom died.
I mean, feel free to cut this out of the episode, but I mean, that's one good thing she did for you.
Oh, God. So, super nice guy, okay? Like, I talked to him for a few minutes and he was like, are you going to be okay to drive home? And I'm like, I'm totally fine. Everything's fine. And I'm literally telling him that. I'm like, everything's fine. I will be totally fine getting home. And he straight up was like, are you okay if I follow you home so that I know that you made it? And I'm like, that's fine. Like, that's fine. So then I get back on the phone. Oh, no. Just before I hung up with my sister. Guys, for any of our listeners that are here right now, let me just say, like, just to reiterate, the relationship with my mother was never, ever great. It was never good, even. It was like a Munchausen's by proxy good, especially when I was younger. As an adult, there hardly was any relationship at all. To the point that I cut her off for 11 years straight. Like, see ya. So when I'm making jokes about this, it is with a grain of salt, but it is also true. It is also a coping mechanism. So, don't cancel me yet. I just, anyway. So as I'm pulling over into a parking lot for this police officer, my sister is hysteric on the other end of the phone line. And she's like, no, don't pull her over. God damn it, Bev, you couldn't have waited one day before you haunted her? This is not the day. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh God. So that was a really, really long story to basically say, yes, I am understaffed. And I think I'm in a bit of shock. Because I'm functioning and I haven't, other than Thursday night, I haven't really like broke down. So I don't know. I'm here. I'm existing. We're recording. So I feel okay enough to record. I'm just here. I guess that's my only thing. Hey friends, let's talk about something we all cherish, our memories. Whether it's old family photos, home videos, or those special moments that define our lives, they deserve more than a shoebox or a cluttered cloud drive. That's where Forever comes in. Forever is your permanent digital home for preserving, organizing, sharing your most treasured memories without ads, without data mining, and with a guarantee for generations to come. There's a need to digitize old photos and home movies that have been stuck on that VHS. Forever makes it easy. Do you want secure private cloud storage? You pay once and you own it for a lifetime plus 100 years. If you love creating custom photo books, I definitely do. Gifts, coffee cups, blankets, keepsakes. Forever has the options that you'll love. If you want the best deals, join Forever Club. Not only do you get nearly 5% off everything, but you also earn free storage every 3 months and get access to exclusive calls with the Forever founder. So your memories deserve more than just a temporary fix or a thumb drive that we've lost. Or, I've even worked with a couple people that their external hard drives have all of a sudden stopped working. So let's try to avoid that. You deserve Forever. And the link is in the show notes, and we'll link it to this video as well. Good luck out there. Let me know if you have any questions. How about you? How's your week been? Have you been understaffed?
Yeah. But mostly, like, obviously not to the same degree. But my week was good, but I'm having trouble like staying present in the moment and like what I'm doing because I keep sort of going back to things because I'm, like I'm in therapy and I am starting to deal with things that I just didn't, I just buried for a really long time. And now they're like coming back and it's sort of like making sense why I do certain things. And this is the first time in my entire life that I've actually challenged any like narratives that I have about the world. And that sucks so much. And also my therapist gave me homework, which is the meanest thing she's ever done to me ever. I'm going to read what I have to do by tomorrow because it's me and I'm going to wait till the last minute. And then also I was complaining about this to Emma and she's like, well, you should do it. Because Emma's the worst.
Come on.
I know. Okay, number 1. I have to write down 5 personal strengths or qualities that I admire about myself. Like, I know the thing that is like, you are not truly self-aware until you can acknowledge not only the things that you need to work on, but the things that you are good at. No, thank you. No, thank you. That makes me extremely uncomfortable. And then I have to record my achievements. That's slightly easier. Because I can do that. I know what my accomplishments are. I just always sort of tie it back to me being lucky and not working hard, which I also need to be better about. And then I have to write a positive letter to myself outlining these things. Disgusting. And then I have to come up with daily affirmations of said strengths and accomplishments. And then I have to make a visual representation of all of those things. My therapist hates me.
First of all,
that sounds awful.
No. Your therapist is a fucking hardballer. Because
I know.
First of all, okay, I can help you with all of this. I'm not going to. I have suggestions, but I could help you with all of this. Second of all, my therapist also on day 1 of working with her back in Germany, like 100 years ago, she gave me homework and she gave me one thing to do. This bitch gave you like 17 things.
Right?
Holy. All right.
To be fair, she did give me a week to do it and I haven't started. So that's my bad.
I have no sympathy for you because I do the same thing.
I know. I'm like,
God. I mean, I'll help you with
and
the
worst
first
part
2.
was,
sorry.
No, Emma, who is the sweetest, kindest, best, she's my favorite sister, was like, I was complaining about it and she was like, what do you mean? And then she just like rattles off all the things that she's like, these are all great qualities that you have. And I was like,
yeah. I mean, do you want me to make you cry on the podcast since I'm a fucking blubbering mess half the time? Because are you an Excel spreadsheet queen? Yes. Are you one of the kindest people on the fucking planet? Yes. Do you give a shit about animals that are about to go to a fucking shelter and you're like, oh, I'll take her? Yes. Like, do you help another person who you barely know as a dance teacher and move into her house and help her clean it out when you don't fucking have to? Yes. Do you crush it at work and go teach grown men how to be grown men and do their fucking job? Yes. Girl. We could talk about this for fucking days.
I love you so much.
I love you too. This is also why I'm not going to fucking help you with this list because you 1,000% are capable of doing it. You just don't want to. And I say that with a grain of salt because I would be just as fucking mad if somebody gave that shit to me. So.
Right. Oh.
Gross.
And on top of
Gross.
that, my mom is very much like, I honestly do think it comes from a good place. But now that Emma lives with me, she has a much different relationship with Emma than she does with me.
Mhm.
And I've always been a lot more independent. No, and not in a bad way, just like our relationship is just different.
Mhm.
But now that my mom has like an into my life, I know her and I know she's like, how's Erika doing? How is she? Oh, like, and she's like trying to like, because I don't share as much with her as my sisters do because I don't want to, because we don't have that type of relationship. And it's just really frustrating because I can't just, like, I mean, and honestly, like, I know how she is, and I know that there's nothing that Emma can do about it except for like completely shut her out of her life, which she's not going to do. And
No, and she shouldn't have to.
I'm not
That's a her
either.
choice. Yeah.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. So I'm like, whatever. Because I also know Emma, and I know Emma's not telling her my whole business. So, like, I'm not worried about it. I just wish that my mom wasn't like that. And I used to be better. So I went through this, like, for a really long time. I think you and I can both relate to this, where we just were very high functioning, but like on the inside, not doing well at all. Right? Like,
Correct.
or like physically we weren't doing well.
Yep.
Which was absolutely my case. Like, I have never been good at like eating or sleeping or
Yeah.
my caffeine. Like, I've never been good about things like that. And the more things I have going on, the more I'm like that. And a lot of the time, if I'm in a situation where I feel like I don't have a choice or it's just easier, like definitely when I was living in the same hometown, like the same town as my mom, I was like, I can't deal with this right now. So I'm just not going to deal with it and just like keep it pushing. Like, I am dealing with all of this stuff and I do not have the space to deal with it. So I'm going to put that on the back burner for now. Unfortunately, that was like 10 years ago. And I have so many things that I put on the back burner that there's now no room for anything on the stove, as it were. So, and I think I started really like digging into that stuff maybe 6 months ago. Maybe a year ago. And then like also like getting divorced, because I had to really think about like what do I want as an individual person, which I had never thought of before, like legitimately, because I took care of my sisters and then I took care of my husband and then now it's me by myself. And it's like, by trying to, it's like everything's connected. I'm trying to put my physical health like at a higher priority, but in order to do that, I have to stop automatically like ignoring any sort of cue from my body. Like, I'm tired, I'll just drink caffeine. I'm hungry. No, you're not. Like, I need to stop doing those things. And I can't just do it. I can't just do it with some things and not other things. So that is like and I'm not saying it's bad. Like, there are times where you legitimately need to like put your blinders on and just deal with whatever you're doing because you're an adult and you just have to put one foot in front of the other, like you right now. Like, But that and like executive dysfunction is a fucking real problem for me. And I'm like, I am, to the people around me, I used to be much higher functioning for them. Like I was more accommodating to them. I was easier to be around for them, but I was not taking into account my own needs really at all. And now I am doing that. So it's sort of this struggle of like, I'm dealing with all of this stuff and I know I'm not as good. I'm not as easy to be around for anybody.
Mhm.
And but also that means that's like a good thing because, you know, the people that are willing to go through this journey with me are like actually care about me, which is good. And as a person where the way I measure success or success is through
Mhm.
accomplishments and how, like, you know, what I do for other people. Like, I did this thing for this person or I made this person feel this way. That like it's like a point system in my head, right? Or like I did this many things today. Today was the first day I rested. I don't even remember. I don't even remember. Yesterday, I had a whole day where I had nothing planned, except I was going to go out with Emma and like late at night, and that was it.
Mhm.
And I didn't lay in bed all day. I went and ran errands, which was great because I needed to do that. And then today I laid in bed until like noon. And all day, it's been a conscious effort to be like, you needed this. This was a thing that you needed.
Yep.
Just because you didn't go out and do things does not mean that it was not a productive day. And that is
Hard to do.
it's like when you know something but you don't believe it. I have that struggle all the time. Like I know logically that certain things are true, but I don't believe those things. Like
For
I know
myself.
logically that yes.
Yeah.
Like I know logically that I am a high performer. Like I know based on like the way the way my coworkers talk to me. I like even my boss will be like, "You're really good at this."
Yep.
Um and one of my coworkers, he's gonna go from one of the staff slots to the commander slot, and he even talked to me. He's like, "You're not allowed to leave until I do." Like I people
I love
all the
that for
time are
you.
like, "You are really important. Like you do so much." And I still am like, "What happens when they find out I actually suck at my job?" I've been working there long enough. If I sucked at my
Same.
job, they would know.
Same. It's so weird because I am the same as you where it's like I'm so confident in the things that I do because I've been doing it with my eyes closed for
Mhm.
X amount of time, right? Like I'm coming up on 5 years
Mhm.
in this job. And I love it. I love the job that I have, but I know that I'm capable of so much more. And there's things that they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh my god, like if you ever leave this job, like for example, the job in Georgia, it's still on the table." And so honestly, I'm again manifesting when they offer it to me, I'm
Mhm.
taking it and I'm moving to Georgia, like hands down.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, oh my God, what if I go to Georgia and then they actually find out that I'm trash, that I actually don't know what I'm doing, that I actually hate it. And in my head, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, not even a single percent. But it's such a weird, like, self-sabotaging kind of thought process where, "Oh my god, what if they find out that I actually don't do anything at all?" And then
Yeah.
when or if I ask for help, like, in our office, if I ask for help, like, "Hey, do you need help doing this, or are you good to do it and I'm going to go back to what I was doing? And when the person is like, oh, yeah, I got it, then I immediately feel bad that I'm not doing it because I should be able to handle that one other thing on my plate. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm a trash employee. Oh my God, I'm putting so much stuff on someone else's plate. And like,
yes.
why? Why are we like this? Why?
Yes. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. Sarah, you know, listeners, you all know how bad I am at eating actual food. And taking like breaks during the day when I'm really busy. And I had 3 coworkers be like, Erika, make sure you take lunch today. Like, people don't do that to people that they don't care about.
Oh my God.
They don't notice whether or not you take a lunch, and they don't really care if you do or not. So that was, it's really nice. And I'm sitting here like, that's so sweet. But I'm like,
but I'm still not going to take
in my
a
head,
lunch.
I'm like, no, I'm not. But that's because I'm a menace to myself.
Correct.
And just 3 raccoons in a trench coat. But like, I know these things. Like, logically, I know these things. I've had the 2 new supervisors at the other office that I trained. They told like our chief when he went down there. They were like, he came into my boss's office when I was in there, and he was like, I just want to let you know that like they could not stop talking about how much help you were getting them all set up and like getting them access to everything they needed to. And I told you about the binder that I built, the continuity book with tabs. Oh,
absolutely. It's hot. It's so hot.
And that was just so like I needed that. Like we both simultaneously don't believe any nice thing anybody has ever said to us, but also have an absolutely insane praise kink. Like,
how dare you?
Like, tell me. I'm not going to believe you, but like, keep telling me.
Yes, because maybe we can fake it till we make it, and maybe I'll start believing people. It's kind of disgusting because, okay, on a whole, like, Cruella de Vil level, there's this half of my brain that knows that I'm a fucking baller. I have a phenomenal work ethic. We both do. Phenomenal work ethic. We are wildly creative. We have passion. We have hobbies. We are passionate about life in general. There are things that we like. There are things that we don't like. We have boundaries for people, including ourselves. And then this other half of our brain is like, no self-care. Fuck that. We're really terrible at our jobs. We actually suck as human beings in general. And I don't know how we're functioning.
Everyone's just being nice. Yeah.
Yes. And I just don't understand. I don't understand the rift in our brains. How does that work? And can we also just ask, for the people that are wildly confident about everything that we do, about everything that you do, how does that work? How do you live your life without questioning yourself or questioning your work ethic or the things that you're passionate about or the things that you have hobbies for and love for and excitement for? How do you live your life? Because I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, for starters, I don't know a single woman that feels that way, so there's a bit of that, I think. God, and
it's
also and also like, yeah, it's like I'm constantly like not doing enough. But again, you and I are very similar in that achieving doesn't mean you're supposed to. So it's like on a scale of like if you're in school and you get an A, that's what's expected, is you get an A. So if you get anything less, you're a failure, but there is nothing higher than an A. So you have to be perfect or you're a failure. And that 100%. Is not logically how I think about it, but that's honestly how I am. I'm like, I need to be 100%, like never make a mistake, be the best at my job, like be the best at everything that anybody gives me, make sure that I get it done, all of this stuff. And if I don't, then I'm this huge piece of shit. And that is unrealistic. And I know that, but I can't stop holding myself to that standard.
And how, like, I feel like we could talk about this.
Look at us hurting our own feelings today.
Weird. I feel like this is a good segue. I don't know why I just said it that way. Segue. Go ahead and intro our topic today, which will continue to hurt our goddamn feelings.
We are talking about how to self-care during when you're going through severe emotional turmoil, like the passing of a parent or a divorce or what have you.
Yep.
Sarah, how have you been self-caring? Ish.
First of all, call me out immediately. The answer is I haven't. And I've been
anybody who listens to this podcast more than one episode knows that you have not.
I am okay. This week, with having my department as just me and having new students come in and a graduation and all of these things, right? I know that I'm really good at this job. Half of my brain knows that I'm really good at this job. And so I can hyper focus on that and I can block out all other emotion, thought process, whatever. I did have a low moment on Wednesday or Thursday, and one of my students, who is a sweetheart, ran up to me like she was going to ask me a question, and then she saw that my face was splotchy and that I was like barely holding it together, and she just loops me in for a giant hug, and I immediately started crying on one of my students' shoulders, and I was just like, ugh, please let go, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm absolutely not okay. But I like grabbed the tissue box and left because my office was filled with like 30 students. And I'm like, I can't have this conversation 30 times over. So I exited for like 15 minutes and composed myself. And I went back to work. And the rest of the week, I was good for the most part. So for me, compartmentalization is how I function. And this week, getting a lot of really tragic news, it's the only way that I've been able to wake up and go to work and get things done. Wildly and hyper focusing on the job at hand, this has been the most productive week I've probably had since 2023. I'm really good at my job, and I do my job well, and I get my job done every week. But this week, I think just the pressure of being by myself and the news that we knew was coming, I just put that in a little pocket in my brain back here, and that's where it needed to stay in order for me to function. Self-care was not a part of that. Like, that was also compartmentalized. So in whatever chunk of my brain that you want to pull out that says this is the work chunk, that's what I focused on. And I focused on some of the podcasts. We did have a bye week, thank God, because I needed that. The episode's almost done, but it was just, hey, Erika, thank you for being a kind human. But no, I mean, the fact that I've eaten hardly anything this weekend is a fucking miracle, mostly because someone else fed me and they were like, you will eat. What do you want? Because if you don't tell me, I'm just going to bring you something. So that was nice. I had a smoothie yesterday, which was great. And then I did wake up and made eggs this morning, but I mostly did that because I have food that's going to expire so I could meal prep for this week because I will leave at the end of the week to go home for my mom's service. So that was, technically self-care, but it was because I have X other things going on. So it wasn't like, so long story long, no actual self-care. And now that I've said that all out loud, I'm mad at myself. And the real question is, will it change? No, probably not.
Yes.
So
I moved out of my ex-husband's house the end of last year, and I was pretty over the relationship before I moved out, so that part was not very difficult for me. But packing all my stuff up and putting it in my car and taking it to a new place, and how he was acting during that whole period really fucking sucked. Like, I've been with this person for 12 years, and even though no part of me wants to be in a relationship with them anymore, it was still like, it felt like all of a sudden I wasn't worth the, like, courtesy of certain things. Like, he just wanted me out, which I understand, like, the type of person that he is. I understand that. But it was still like, it sort of reinforced the narrative that I have, which is that people only want me in their life for what I can do for them and not for who I am as a person, which, again, I know is not true. I know that's not true. But, and definitely with, like, romantic relationships, because that is not only been the case for me, but also the case for my mom and the relationships that I have seen her in. And I have just been disassociating. And not only that, but, like, almost my entire marriage, there were so many things that happened that I just was not ready to deal with, that I just, like, nope. And then when I started being like, actually, all these things that I thought were okay, or I was prepared to let go at the time, I'm actually not okay with that. I actually don't. I actually need to, like, process this and talk about it in order to move past it. And that's another thing that's really, really hard when I'm at work, or I'm out at dinner, or I'm doing something, and I just get, like, smacked in the face with this memory that I can't get out of my head. Or, like, when things are really chaotic, I get really incredibly stressed out. And I'm not a person that cries a lot, but I'm not a crier. Like, I'm definitely not one of those people that's like, oh, I haven't cried in 12 years. No, obviously not. But I have not broken down in over a year. And that's not, I know that's not good. Like, the things that have happened in the last year or two-ish, a normal, healthy, not fully disassociating person would have released those emotions, and I have not done that. And it's not because I haven't wanted to. It's just, that like little, it's like I release the pressure a little tiny bit and that's all I can fucking handle. Like, I'm like, I can't. Like, one thing I've always been good at is like moving forward, just like keep going. Like, out of sheer stubbornness, I will make this happen. I will get through this. I will be fine. This is going to happen. The problem is that I've been doing this my entire life and I have never stopped. And now I'm trying to figure out how to not be that way. And I'm in the middle of learning how to be myself again for so many different ways, like as a single person, but also just in general, dealing with things as they come up and not just like shoving them into a little box that I don't acknowledge ever. And I was talking to somebody and he said something and he said something that was very like not even to me, just like in general. And it just like sort of hit a nerve and I got like a little like, and I was like, nope, oh no.
Bury it.
And I need to not, yeah. I'm like, no, I can't keep being like this because I want to be able to deal with those things. I want to be able to, because right now there are so many things I just don't talk about because it still gives me such an emotional response. And I know once I deal with it, like I can tell the story and not have the story tell me. And that right now is where I'm at with so much stuff that it's so hard to do that and go through all of that stuff and also work and also have a podcast and also keep up with my social life and also date and also have a dog and also do dance and also like make meals for myself sometimes and just like do the things that I need to do for self-care and also deal with all of this stuff because it's not that it already makes me really uncomfortable. And it's not anything, and I've never had a partner that I have felt comfortable enough being completely honest about those things with, and not even necessarily because of the partner, but just like I don't trust people. Like and even then, it's like the fear of rejection is worse than the actual rejection. It's like if I say something that I find really upsetting or something and somebody like is like, "Oh, yeah, whatever." That doesn't really bother me that much, but it's like the fear that it might is what prevents me from doing it. Anyway, that's what I've been dealing with this week more than other weeks.
I have a question for you.
Just trying to like, yes. Are you going to hurt my feelings?
Very strong possibility. Question
Rude.
being, the assignments that your therapist gave you, what are they again?
Yes.
It's writing 5 accomplishments, right?
Yeah.
Writing 5 nice things about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Writing a nice letter to yourself about the things,
Yeah.
the nice things that you are or accomplished. And then what was the other thing?
Yes. Pick a strength or an achievement from the list and recite it as an affirmation to myself. And then a visual representation. So do like a collage or something.
Like a vision board.
Hell
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So how hard is it going to be for you to write those 5 nice things about yourself?
Oh, God.
My suggestion to you, and this is not easy, because I don't think that I would do it, but my suggestion to you is to cry while you're writing those 5 things and or doing any of those assignments. I think the hardest thing for me would be writing a nice letter to myself.
Mhm.
'Cause the other
Mhm.
thing is I can make a list 'cause, right, like, there's that half of my brain that's like, "I'm a bad bitch. Here's my 15 things,
Mhm.
actually, not just 5. Here's my 15 or 18 things." But the nice letter to myself would be hard. My suggestion to you is to actually let some fucking emotion loose because that's all part of the learning process and releasing some of those emotions, because you'd be doing it in a safe space. You would be by yourself. You would be in your
Mhm.
car or in your room or in your house doing those things because that is your safe space, is your bubble.
Yes.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do it. We both know this.
No.
But,
No, I'm not. Also, when I talk about not being a crier, it's not because I don't want to. It's like I just don't. I just have not there was that one time where I felt a little wibbly and I was like, "Whoop, shut that down." So,
there's a movie. There's a movie, and I can't remember what it is, but there's this woman who is boss bitch vibes, and she doesn't cry. She, can't cry. Not for lack of trying. She just doesn't /
mhm.
can't cry. And I think it's a love story. But
I'm sure it is.
at the end of it, she cries and realizes she's, in love with this guy because she was about to lose him. And she cries over it, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm crying. I'm releasing." What the hell movie was that? God, I sound weird. Anyway, you're that person. You're that person.
I am that person. It's not necessarily a good thing. Like I said,
It's
I'm
not
not like,
necessarily a bad
"Ooh,
thing
I don't
either.
cry."
Some people just don't.
That's true. And it's not like I said, I've never been a person that cries a lot, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think also I'm not super like outwardly emotional, which again, that's just sort of the person that I am. Which again, I don't think is a bad thing. But yeah, it's just I know it's coming. It's gotta be coming. Um, and I just don't know when it's gonna get here, and I am not looking forward to it. Because here's the thing about mental breakdowns is that you can't schedule them, which is rude. I'm like, "Can it
Correct.
happen on a Sunday afternoon, please, when I'm alone in my own home and I can just be sad by myself?" No,
I
that's
wish.
not how it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen if I'm, on a date or I'm, driving to work or I'm, in the post office. That's when it's gonna hit me, and that is what I am not looking forward to.
Yeah, that's, the worst part is, where the hell was I? Why was that in my car? Oh, so Tuesday, when I got the call about so hospice came in to my mom's house and said, she hasn't been eating, she hasn't been drinking, she's been asleep for 12 plus hours, she's not talking. It's gonna happen soon. Next day, next 2 days, and morbidly, one of the jokes that we said was, well, she'll probably last another 9 weeks because she's stubborn as fuck. So
Mhm.
all right. I was at a self-defense class when I got the phone call, and they were about to take a group photo, and I was like, "I have to go, my mom's dying." And they were all like, "What?" Sorry, gotta go. So I'm in my car,
Yeah.
my stepdad calls, he tells me what hospice says, and I, again, wasn't expecting the emotions to happen, but they're happening as I'm driving down the road, and I'm like, "This is not the right time." This is not good. So I got back to the parking lot at work, and I parked the car, and as soon as the car went into park, I immediately lost it. Just ugly, crying, gross, lost it. And my stepdad's telling me, what's going on. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I have a favor to ask of you. And he says,
Mhm.
okay. And I said, can you just put the phone on speaker and put the phone next to her? Oh, God. And the number of things that I want to say to her, like, there were all of these things flashing through my head, like, you were a cunt for years. You put your hands on me for years. I cut you off for years for a fucking reason. And, there's all these things. So, funnily enough, I also had to walk my stepdad through how to put the fucking phone on speakerphone. So there was that. And I was laughing because I'm like, Jesus Christ, all right. And so
Yeah, big boomer energy.
he puts the phone next to her, and the only thing, I say my goodbyes and let her know, there's no point in letting this linger. Like, you don't need to be in pain. The morphine is there for you to use. I know my stepdad's giving you morphine and whatever else, and you haven't eaten in days. You haven't been eating since Thanksgiving. Like, this isn't a way to live. This isn't a way, if you have to go, you have to go. Just, we're all here. We're there in spirit, whatever. And I said all of these really nice things, and I broke down in the car, And of course, I'm also showing emotion to my stepdad that it's something I don't normally do too, because he's not a safe person for me. And so I was like, all right, I have to get off the phone. I have to go. Bye. Love you. See ya. Whatever. So my brother calls almost immediately right after that. And he's like, hey, I called Al, but he ignored my call. And then I called him, or he called me back and said he was on the phone with you. So I was like, let me call her. And, and Dave, it's just like the things that he was saying, it made me cry. It made me laugh. And I just, that emotion of sobbing, of just that emotional release of just tears and just heavy emotions and things getting off your chest, but then laughing at the same time. My whole body has just been so confused because I'm functioning and I'm sad, and then I feel very guilty, and I'm also trying to make sure that I brush my teeth and shower, also trying to make sure that I remember to eat something. And there's all of these things happening, but I'm also hysterically laughing at different things, whether it's work, students coming in and talking, or if it's my brother and sister calling, and it's all of these things. But then it's also anger and frustration because literally planning her service has been fucked. It's just been fucked. And then the coordination, I have eight living siblings, and we live in 8 different places. So just the coordination of getting everybody into town is fucked. It's all just so frustrating. And I truthfully don't understand how I'm functioning and how I'm not just a body sack, just laying in bed in a depressive mess. But it's also very apparent, at least to me, it's also very apparent what my relationship was like with my parents, because the way I'm seeing it is it's much more of a business relationship where I'm going to be a better person and I'm going to stay in contact with you because that's the right thing to do. And you are my mother. You are my biological family. But the connection of her being my mom, it doesn't exist. She was my biological mother. She was my parent, but she was a shitty parent. And she wasn't my mom. She was just my mother. Do you know what I mean? It's that weird. It's just weird. And so emotionally, I feel like a fucking monster. I feel guilty for not having more emotion over it. But I also know that if I did, I wouldn't be functioning the way that I am right now. So
Yeah.
it's like an ebb and flow of what the hell is my brain and body doing? I don't know. I'm just existing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's all you can ask of yourself right now. Like, you can't.
I don't know. If someone were to ask me advice on what to do for them, I would be like, don't fucking, I'm not the one.
Mhm.
I'm not the one to ask because
Mm.
I
Same.
don't know. I don't fucking know. So, guys, I not gonna lie, the whole like weight of this week is kind of crushing, and now I have a whole bunch of messages flooding in about my frustrated family members, so we're gonna end the recording because I just can't anymore. So, Erika, by all means.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Sarah and I trauma dump all over you. You're welcome. We're still going to be in Kansas City. Please come see us. We love you. Buy merch. Without you, we would be potting into the void. Thank you. Goodbye.